Hello everyone, and welcome to Behind the Bulletin. We're delighted to have you with us today. In this episode, we're uncovering a story that has captured the hearts of fans everywhere. The wedding plans of Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah have been revealed. And their star-studded guest list is already creating major buzz. Who's on the list? Which famous faces are expected to attend? And what details are making this celebration one of the most talked about events? Stay with us as we take you inside the excitement, the elegance, and the anticipation. Starting right now. For years, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah have represented something rare in the public eye, a relationship that endured quietly, steadily, and without spectacle. Industry fueled by headlines and exposure. Their love story unfolded with restraint. That is precisely why the sudden surge of wedding-related buzz sent shockwaves through fans and media alike. It didn't begin with an announcement. There was no teaser, no cryptic social post, no carefully staged reveal. Instead, it began with whispers. Industry insiders first hinted that preparations were underway, describing a series of unusually discreet meetings involving close acquaintances, stylists, and long-trusted coordinators. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, but enough to spark curiosity. When schedules were quietly adjusted and overlapping commitments suddenly disappeared, attention intensified. Then came the detail that ignited everything. A rumored guest list. Names began circulating, some whispered. Others boldly claimed, linking top-tier actors, directors, and longtime friends of the couple to a private celebration said to be intimate, but undeniably elite. The contrast was irresistible. A low-key couple, allegedly preparing a wedding that could bring together some of the biggest figures in the industry. Fans reacted instantly. Social media flooded with speculation, timelines, and emotional reactions. Some expressed disbelief. Others expressed joy. Many admitted they had always expected this moment, just not without warning. The idea that such a significant milestone could be unfolding entirely out of sight only made it more compelling. What fueled the tension was not extravagance, but secrecy. Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah had always drawn a firm line between public admiration and private life. Their appearances together were rare, deliberate, and never performative. So when rumors suggested a carefully controlled celebration, it felt entirely in character, and yet deeply suspenseful. The absence of denial only intensified the buzz. Entertainment outlets framed the situation cautiously, using words like reportedly, said to be, and according to sources close to the couple. But audiences read between the lines. The tone shifted from curiosity to anticipation. Every small movement became a potential clue. Every quiet day felt like confirmation. The wedding, rumored but unseen, had already become one of the most talked about events of the year. And then, the guest list speculation grew louder. What made the guest list rumors so explosive was not just the names themselves, but what they represented. Alleged attendees included longtime collaborators, industry veterans, and peers who had shared defining moments with the couple across decades of work. It painted a picture of a celebration rooted not in spectacle, but in history. Relationships built quietly, sustained privately. This framing changed the narrative. The story was no longer about celebrity glamour alone. It became about loyalty, about endurance, about two people who had weathered personal and professional storms choosing to mark a new beginning surrounded only by those who truly mattered. Still, the speculation carried tension. Would the event be entirely private? Would any details ever be shared? Or would the wedding exist only as a moment known to those present? Fans debated endlessly. Some argued that the couple owed nothing beyond their work. Others hoped for a glimpse, not out of entitlement, but affection. The line between admiration and expectation blurred. It often does when audiences feel emotionally invested. While the couple remained silent. No confirmations. No denials. No strategic leaks. That silence spoke volumes. It suggested control, confidence, and a refusal to let anticipation dictate timing. Industry observers noted how rare this level of discretion had become. In a time when personal milestones are often leveraged for visibility, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah appeared determined to protect theirs. The rumored guest list, once the centerpiece of speculation, became secondary to a larger realization. The real story was not who might attend, but how intentionally the moment was being handled. Days passed, the buzz evolved. Headlines softened. Commentary grew more reflective. shifted from who's invited to why this matters. Narrative matured, focusing on the symbolism of a couple choosing privacy in a culture of constant exposure. Whether the wedding details would ever be confirmed became almost irrelevant, because something else had already happened. Woo Bin and Shin had reminded the public that some milestones do not need validation to be meaningful. That love, when lived steadily and protected carefully, does not require spectacle to feel monumental. Rumored guest list may continue to circulate. Names may be added, removed, debated, and dissected. But the heart of the story remains unchanged. This was never just about a wedding. It was about intention. About choosing presence over performance, meaning over momentum, and celebration without surrendering privacy. And in doing so, Kim Woo Bin and Shin turned anticipation itself into a quiet statement, one that resonated far beyond the buzz. Whether confirmed or not, the moment had already arrived. Not in photographs, not in headlines. A collective understanding that some stories are most powerful when they are lived, not displayed. And perhaps that is why this wedding, seen or unseen, captured so much attention in the first place. As the excitement surrounding the rumored wedding preparations continued to ripple outward, something unexpected happened. Noise did not explode further, it deepened. What had begun as surface-level curiosity slowly transformed into an intense emotional investment. As if the public had collectively decided that this moment mattered more than most celebrity milestones before it. The reason was simple. Bin and Shin had never sold their relationship as a story. They never packaged affection into interviews. Never turned love into promotion. And because of that, the possibility of their wedding felt different. It felt earned. Behind the speculation, insiders described an atmosphere of careful control. Meetings were reportedly brief and discreet. Locations were chosen not for prestige, but for isolation. Every step was said to be planned with one goal in mind, to protect the moment from becoming a spectacle. Ironically, that very restraint only heightened fascination. Guest list rumors continued to circulate, but now with a different tone. No longer were people asking, who will attend? They began asking, who would deserve to? Longtime collaborators. Friends who had stood by during illness, hiatus, and uncertainty. Names associated not with fame alone, but with shared history. The idea that this wedding would not be about status, but about gratitude, resonated deeply with fans who had followed the couple's journey for years. Online discussions shifted. Fans shared memories of when Kim Woo Bin stepped away from the spotlight and how Shin remained quietly supportive. Others recalled moments when the couple chose absence over attention, consistency over drama. The wedding rumors became a catalyst for reflection, reminding people why this relationship had always felt different. Still, the tension remained. Would the world ever see a photo? Would there be a single confirmation? Would the wedding exist only as a private truth? By public approval? Media outlets waited. Paparazzi waited. Fans waited. Nothing came. And that silence, once again, spoke louder than any reveal. Industry veterans began calling it a masterclass in privacy. Not secrecy, but ownership. Kim Woo Bin and Shin were not hiding. They were choosing when to speak, when to remain still, and to let the world speculate without interference. Choice unsettled some. In an era of constant access, restraint feels almost confrontational. Challenges the assumption that every milestone must be shared to be real. And yet, the longer the silence stretched, the clearer the message became, this moment was not for the audience. As days turned into weeks, the buzz softened, not because interest faded, because the narrative matured. The wedding stopped being treated like a breaking news event. It began to feel like something more intimate, more human. A conclusion without confirmation. Perhaps that was the point. Kim Woo Bin and Shin had turned anticipation into boundary. They allowed excitement without surrendering control. They let joy exist without packaging it for consumption. In doing so, they redefined what a celebrity wedding could look like: quiet, intentional, and deeply personal. Whether the guest list was ever real or merely imagined no longer mattered. The story had already reached its most powerful moment. When plans were unveiled. Not when names were leaked. But when the world realized it might never be invited, and that this was something to respect, not resent. Because sometimes, the most shocking thing celebrities can do is live their most important moments as if the cameras were never there. In the end, This story was never truly about a guest list or wedding details. It was about choice, the choice to protect love, to honor privacy, and to celebrate a milestone without turning it into a performance. Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min are reminded the public that some moments gain their meaning not through exposure, but through intention. By remaining silent, they allowed their relationship to speak for itself, steady, enduring, and untouched by spectacle. Thank you for staying with us through this story. Time, curiosity, and respect make it possible to explore celebrity narratives with depth rather than noise. This has been Behind the Bulletin, where we look beyond headlines to understand the stories that truly matter. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.